Hey girl, hey, it's me, Mariah Elise, and welcome to my very first YouTube video. So, the topic of discussion is, how did I end up at Morgan State University? Let me tell you. So basically, I graduated high school in 2021. And I immediately went to Oakwood University down in Huntsville, Alabama. Now backtrack. When I graduated, I hadn't even heard of Morgan State initially until I received a letter in the mail talking about I got in. And I was like, go Bears? Question mark? And so I used to live in PG at the time. And I drove from PG up to Morgan State's campus, and I was like, wow, like I really like what I see. And then I got a little bit more information regarding the school and like school's history. Obviously it's the HBCU, Historically Black College University, for those who don't know. And I was like, okay, I really like the environment and the atmosphere that this school has. But I still ended up at Oakwood. But at the time, I felt like it was my calling. I felt like Oakwood was where I was supposed to be at the time. And so I went and I had my experience. And the middle of the first semester, I was like done. Like I had clocked out of the semester. I stopped going to my classes. I stopped doing homework. I just kind of was just existing on campus. And it's like, that's really out of my norm because I am a school girl. Like, I love school. I love everything school related. I love learning. I love academics. So that, me not going to class, me not doing homework, me not being invested in what my grades were looking like and how I was pouring into myself academically, that's not me. And my mama even was like, girl, reality check, everything cool, like what's going on? And that's when I was like, okay, self, like what are we really doing? And that's when I had like a come to realization, like this isn't where I need to be anymore. Like I felt in a sense stuck because I didn't necessarily have a plan. And I feel like at the school that I was at, they didn't necessarily have like the major I wanted to do or the career path that I eventually wanted to be on. It's just like, you know, I don't know. Like I was in biology and I was kind of just figuring it out. Like you can do a lot with biology, but I was like, okay, I'll go into biomedical sciences. And I was doing that for a little bit. And then I was like, I'm just gonna do general biology because I feel like biomedical sciences was a little bit too centered, I would say. Like it was too focused on one thing and I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do. So, you know, mid-semester I was like, okay, what is my plan? Like how am I going to pivot? How am I going to kind of pull myself out of this rut that I'm in and get my shit together? And so I had a conversation with my mom and I was telling her how I wanted to leave Oakwood and I wanted to transfer to Morgan State, and she was telling me that's a good idea. However, you know, it's going to be a lot harder transferring during the semester opposed to just transferring during the summer. And I was like, okay, girl. And I was like, okay, that's the plan. So I decided that I'm going to stay at Oakwood for my entire freshman year, and then I'm going to get the fuck up out of there. Because when I tell y'all that whatever I experienced I was so out of it. I literally had a 1.3 GPA when my midterms hit. My lowest GPA has never even touched the ones. It's never even been lower than a 3.5. So I was struggling, girl, and I was struggling bad. So in order to combat that struggle, I was like, let me pull myself together. When I tell y'all semester 2, spring semester, I was an academic weapon. Like, I had everything together. I had a 4.0 GPA that semester. That bumped my cumulative from a 1.3 to a 3.27. As soon as I saw that 3.27, my ass was enrolled at Morgan State University. And since being at Morgan State University, I really do feel like I've had such a better college experience academically and also socially. At Morgan, I'm very involved on my campus. I'm in a bunch of different orgs. Some of those orgs I also serve on the executive board, which is also known as the E-board. And I'm loving it, truly. I really am. And initially, my matriculation into Morgan State University, I wouldn't say it was hard, but it was definitely an adjustment, especially coming from a private Seventh-day Adventist HBCU and then going into a public and very well known HBCU as well. Because when I was at Oakwood, I was a biology major. Then when I transferred into Morgan, I've been a bio major, a mechatronics engineering major, an electric engineering major, and I've landed in strategic communications and hospitality management. And coming from all those different majors, it really allowed me to kind of rediscover my interests and things that I'm really good at, because although I wanted to be a scientist or a lawyer since I was a very, very young girl, getting into college and actually majoring in the STEM department, majoring in engineering, I realized while I love this is hard and it's out of my capacity for right now, because I wasn't passing math. I wasn't doing good in math at all. And being a STEM major in general, but being an engineering major, that's the basis of my major. So it's like, if I'm not passing these classes, I'm not going to be able to get into my next classes, because a lot of my math classes that I wasn't passing were prerequisites to my core curriculum classes. So I think it was around midterms my sophomore year where I really decided, okay, I really do need to pivot. I need to find another career path that really piques my interest, or even something that I just like to do, like something that I find myself enjoying and just overall kind of good at. And that's how I kind of ended up in communications, because while I was still an engineering major, I was taking a lot of communications classes, taking a lot of philosophy classes, because I feel like those classes really just piqued my interest. They kind of pick at my brain, make me think, and kind of just keep me on my toes, because I'm learning so much about the human mind and learning about news and journalism and things like that, which I grew to actually really love. I didn't think that was something that was an interest of mine, but come to find out it is, and I've made it my major since. And then I've also picked up hospitality management since then, because I work in the hospitality industry. I work in an industry that is customer service based, that is, people first, and I really do love the experiences that I have working customer service, especially in the department that I work in. I really feel like it allows me to connect with a lot of people. And I think that although I had my heart set on being an engineering major and ending up being a aerospace engineer, coming out of college with a degree in mechatronics engineering, because first of all, that's so cool to tell people, but it's like I had to learn that it wasn't just about, hey, this is what I really am interested in. I also have to do something that I'm good at, you know what I mean? But, that's kind of how I ended up at Morgan State. And, I just encourage, you guys who are watching, whether you're currently in college and you kind of have a similar experience that I had a few years back, or if you're, coming up out of high school, you're going to college, just keep in mind that, college is a journey. You're going to learn a lot about yourself, a lot about different classes, different opportunities. You're just going to learn, and that's kind of the purpose of college. So you're just going to find things that you like to do, but don't limit yourself to what you think you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, if there's an opportunity that presents itself and it piques your interest, explore it. Because if I would have been stuck in the mindset that, no, I'm gonna stay in my engineering department and I'm gonna graduate with my bachelor's in mechatronics engineering, and I'm just gonna go be in the path that I thought I was gonna be in, I would have never allowed myself the experiences that I have now, which is being in communications, being in hospitality, being a damn double major. I would have never allowed myself to experience what it's like to have two majors and experience what it's like to have opportunities in both my majors. My communications major allows me to do news broadcasting and media journalism, and my hospitality department allows me to go on conferences and network and just be in different spaces with a lot of very high profile people. And if I would have limited myself to just staying in that mechatronics engineering department, I would have never allowed myself to experience what it's like not being in that department and being a double major and having all the opportunities that I have now. So that's kind of where I'm at. And if you're watching, thank you, and stay tuned to what Mariah's doing in college at Morgan State University as a senior double major. Love you.